no, we can just jump right into the interview question. If that's okay. Okay, for
Mhm.
sure. Did you want to ask the first one?
Yeah. So, what career field are you in and how did you get here?
So I am a CEO and president of a construction firm that my parents started in 1973. So by trade, we're welders. My dad started welding from the driveway of our house, and then little by little, him and my mom created this big shop facility in Santa Fe Springs. I started welding there when I was 12. When all my friends were at the beach and having fun, I went to work with my dad in the summers and on the weekends. Super grateful for that though. And about 14 years ago, I was always working with my dad my whole career, but I was never gonna be in construction and I was never gonna work for my dad and I was never gonna own a construction company. But here I am. I went to school at Long Beach City College for fire science, and I was a firefighter for 4 years in Indio. And then when I got pregnant with my older son, who's 24, they're like, you have to do light duty. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I just went full time with my dad and started taking over his business. And then when he passed away in 2010, I got the business, not the way I wanted it, but yeah, he died suddenly with cancer and there was no work. So we kind of pivoted and started to market ourselves as a female-owned company. Walshay was awarded the LAX Crenshaw and the Metro Purple Line phases, and I've done a lot of work with them over the years. So they said, "You ready to go back to work?" And we did. So that's kind of in a nutshell how I got to be where I am today.
Wow,
Nice.
that's great.
Sorry to hear about your father. I'm glad that like you were able to come back to something that you did as a kid, even though it's not what you expected to do. So how did you find your passion for what you do now, even though it wasn't the planned career path for you?
Well, I think when a family member, your parent, your best friend passes away, it's kind of like, oh, I want to see this through. I want to see what we can do. And I always loved that industry, but I always also wanted to just see what I can do on my own also. And, in 91, when I graduated high school, I really wanted to go in the military because I love doing that kind of boy work. But we were just approaching on Desert Storm. So my dad was, and my mom was like, please don't go into the military right now. We're about to go into war. So I was like, fine, I just want to go to boot camp. I'll figure it out a way. And the fire department offered something like that. But I always worked with my dad, even when I was working there. And after he passed, trying to find the passion was easy because everybody told me that I would ruin my dad's business. I'm a girl. I don't know how to do construction and I'll never be successful. So even family members and either people, and even to this day, people tell me that, like, oh, we just thought that you would never be able to do it. So I think part of that gives you a little bit of fire in your belly to prove everybody wrong. So that's kind of where that all stemmed from. And then once you get going and you start being a mentor and you meet other people and you start getting on these really awesome projects, you just wake up and want to do it every day. It's super fun.
Yeah, that's so exciting or that's great to hear. Considering like you've always been passionate to go forward with masculine dominated or male dominated like careers and like
Sure.
activities. Considering your experience because you've had to go through these like little internal battles by being a woman, who are your biggest inspirations to provide that passion for you?
They change along the ways over the years because when I first was doing this, there weren't a lot of people like me. It wasn't like I was walking into a facility or a job site and I saw tons of women. I didn't see any. So in the beginning, it was definitely my mom. My mom was and is an amazing mom. She's got 4 kids. She, prior to working with my dad, worked in a nuclear war plant in Southgate
Wow.
doing machinery. And then she would come home. She'd feed 4 kids. I'm the youngest of four. She would take care of my dad, pack his lunch, help him work on the car. So seeing my mom really have that work-life balance created me to say, you know what? Yes, I get to work. I do have 3 children. I have 20 employees, but you have to keep going. And then as you start going through the process of just your day to day, my sisters are my partners. So good, bad, and different. If we're fighting or getting along, you always push each other to the next level. And sometimes that's, it's really great. And then when you start meeting other women, like Robin, I met her a couple years ago, super inspiring. I love working alongside her. Um, I've married Ty Cart with Ty Cart Industries, been super influential to me. But then even some of the men, Peter Shea, Mike Traylor, the guys I kind of grew up with, have really given me an opportunity to shine and do the work, not because I'm a girl, but because we can actually do the job. And when you do your job, people always come back to you, and that's how you create the momentum to move forward and get more jobs and more clients.
Yeah. And the last person that we interviewed, Janino Bede, she mentioned that it's just important not only to find women within the industry, but their allies. So it's like good to like create that network of people.
Yeah.
And like, do you feel like that helps you prepare for your difficult projects or work days, or what do you do to like get yourself right mentally before you take on something that you know is going to be a challenge?
Well, great question, by the way. You gotta have a fight song, right? You wake up in the morning and you hear certain songs, you're like, yes, today is the day, or you're getting ready to do a Zoom or a project and you know you're gonna come into it like eyes on you. It's just easy to take for me, I take a deep breath and I remember how I got to where I am and who's helped me along the way, and to always pay tribute to that and realize that you can't do anything by yourself. It takes a team. It takes a team of your people, your peers, your allies, your clients, your customers, your vendors. So it's really important to create these amazing relationships. And because I grew up in the industry, I really, really have, I'm 50, but I really have like 42 years. I've seen my dad work with these people, especially a lot of the contractors in LA. They've been here a long time. Their families have been here a long time. They're second, third, fourth generation. And I'm growing up with all of them and we're doing these projects. So having that mentally prepares me. Or you walk into a boardroom or meeting and you see one or two people that you've worked with for so long. It's kind of like, okay, I belong here and this is where I'm supposed to be. I finally earned my chair at the table. So it's that for me is important to see those people be like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I'm here with you guys. What's going on? So super fun.
Yeah, like coming back to yourself, like,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
no,
yeah.
I love that you mentioned the fight song because the previous person we interviewed also mentioned that she has a fight song every morning to keep her motivated. But
Yeah.
I just love how you pointed that out. But considering that you've been growing with the industry alongside you and like definitely embracing the bonds you've created, how do you feel about where women stand in STEM slash CTE fields currently?
I think there's a lot of women in admin positions, and I also feel like women are afraid sometimes to take that step to do a non-traditional role. Like, what if I'm gonna have a baby, or I have a baby, or I have to leave, or as women, we do all of the things. We balance our homes, we take care of our homes, we pick up our children, we drop them off, and somehow still have to come to work. So I think in the industry, it'd be really nice to have a space where women can feel not that their jobs would be threatened over the fact that they do have a life outside of work. I think for me, that's kind of where I like to be with the women in construction type things of like, hey, you're allowed to have, maybe we don't golf, we go to our kids' football games, or we do other little things, but it'd be nice to see more non-traditional roles for females. But I understand it's hard. And sometimes, women, we like to build and we can do so many different things. And sometimes work smarter, not harder. Maybe we don't want to be in the field all day doing a jackhammer, not because we're women and we can't handle it, but we're realizing like, hey, we should step up and elevate our game a little bit and move up through this company instead of just on the construction side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important, especially as women. We have so many ways that we need to think about conserving our energy before we get burnt out. So if you could give advice to your younger self to avoid that burnout or being overwhelmed, what would it be?
For me, it's been really important to spend time with my children. They kind of let me check out, and also having a partner. My husband has been awesome. It's nice after, because my dad always never let him see you sweat, never let him see you cry. I've been pushed to the limits, and it's really nice to come home, maybe have a glass of wine or a cup of tea or whatever your choice is, sit in the spot and or sit down and I tell my husband like, oh my gosh. And I'm like basically in tears, but I always try to remember like he's teaching me something. I mean, he's writing me and he's giving me, but I'm learning something at the end of the day. So if I could tell my younger self that, it would be take a deep breath and really think about what you're upset about or what you're concerned about because you're learning a lesson here and you can get through this. Slow down. First and foremost, I feel like slow down. Don't always have to answer that email or that text right away. You can take a minute.
All right.
Needed that.
Yes, definitely. I needed that
Needed
advice.
that. Thank you.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
My general manager is always telling me, like, Dawn, you don't have to answer because sometimes I'll answer from my phone and I don't always spell check. I might not have my glasses, I can't see, but I want to respond. He's like, it's okay. You could probably wait 15 minutes. You don't. I'm like, yeah,
You're right.
that's really hard to learn.
Need a little break. Need a little break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
the majority of what we have to ask you as of this interview. I guess we could ask one final question. So considering your experience along the way, as we mentioned, you've had a lot of prior experience from your father and then growing up alongside the industry. What would you say would be like the perfect your like envision of how STEM / the CTE workforce would be in 10 years? Like, what would you want to see from there?
More tradespeople, honestly. You know, when we go out to hire, we're trying to hire tradespeople, welders and fitters, machinists. They're just not there. You know, our youth wants to go to school and they want to sit at their desk, they want to work remotely, and they don't want to engage. So it'd really be nice to see some of the programs really focus on, hey, you don't have to go straight to university and have an engineering degree or something like that. We need people because we can draw up all the things to build, but if there's nobody there to actually physically build them, we are having that problem now. Like the average construction worker in the United States, I think is in like their mid-50s. So we're not seeing a lot of youth want to do some of the hands-on, you know,
yeah.
labor, if you will, that we used to see in the past, you know, being a blue collar worker and everybody wants to kind of get in the office and have the 9 to 5 and put their laptop and check out. But we really need to realize that we're gonna have a problem soon, maybe not in my lifetime, maybe y'all's, but it's gonna be tough to get things built if we don't have enough people to do it. I definitely see that as an issue.
That's interesting. That's something that I haven't heard a ton of people talk about before. I think because everybody is so reliant on like new tech, it's like, okay, but there are certain skills that only a person can do. Like not like a machine can't do everything.
No,
So
Yeah, we have automated welders and things for production work, right? You're building a car and a welder can come along and do all those things, but when you're building one-off things, you know, we have a tunnel going in LA that has an 18-foot whatever, you know, diameter, but the next tunnel coming up is 2 feet bigger or 2 feet smaller, and the machines are different sizes, and so it's not a production type of making widgets. You know, we can't do it automatedly, so it's going to be really, really important that we find people that want to, you know, like blacksmithing. Who even does that anymore? Like we don't even have keys to our doors. You know, everything is electronic. But
yeah.
I think in the industry that I'm in, it's going to be really interesting to see and important. Even on job sites, there's welders out there. There's people, maintenance people fixing their equipment. And if we're not training people to be mechanics, because a computer can't always fix if someone breaks a piece off the backhoe, you know, the computer can't come fix that. You need a person to actually do that. So I think that's going to be really important to see. I love what the junior colleges are doing. I'm a big advocate for junior colleges and their trade programs. I'm a junior college graduate, so I didn't go to university. And I love it, you know, because you don't have to go get some fancy degree on your wall. You see, I don't have any of mine, but yeah, it's really important that youth knows that you can have a great job and a great life and a great career without going into $200,000 debt for certification on your wall that you might never use.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for the most part for our interview. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, so what is this for? I didn't even get any details from y'all.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we're doing like a social media campaign, basically interviewing people that Robin has like suggested to us to talk about. So we're gonna turn them into like Instagram reels with like different clips from the interviews and sharing just like advice for like young women who want to go into STEM and CTE from an actual person who's in STEM and CTE.
I
So
love that. And I would also say get involved in your organizations.
Mhm.
Women in Construction LA, we have students membership rates. I think like $12.50 for the year. Students can come engage with us. And there's a lot of times like if a student showed up at a meeting I was at and they wanted to join, I would sponsor them in and pay for it. So, and I know other members would do that too. And you also get to engage with women in very big companies, especially the Los Angeles chapter. We have a lot of strong women there in big companies and help further on. And we're really working on mentorship and philanthropy this year as far as educating women on how to get ahead and how to get into these job sites, whatever role you might want. So I love Demo Chicks. We sponsored you guys this year. I think it's a great program. Love Robin. So yeah, I didn't even put makeup on today, so sorry.
No, don't be sorry about it. You're good.
we'll make it look nice regardless. Don't worry,
Yes,
don't worry,
no,
don't
Don't
worry.
yeah.
do a crazy filter
Got you.
though.
Yeah, we got you.
But no, thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to share. You brought a perspective that I think we haven't really seen yet since you've had, not the traditional like college trajectory.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for your insight.
Yeah,
I
it was
appreciate it.
very
You're welcome. You guys come to some of our meetings if you want to. I'll be there. I'm the incoming well, I'm not incoming anymore. I'm now the vice president of Los Angeles. And
oh,
I'll send it to you guys in a week or so. I did a podcast for you don't have to record this part, but the business journal. So I'll send that to you guys. It was fun. Yeah, I did it 2 weeks ago.
yes,
Nice,
definitely send
please.
it over.
Yeah, give
Yes,
us the info. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But
Oh my gosh.
thank
Yes, thank you again for your time.
And if you guys need anything, and if you're working with girls and they want to come to my shop, it's in Santa Fe Springs. We can work it out when I'm there. If
Yeah.
they want to do a field trip.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
no.
we'll definitely mention it to Robin, and
Awesome.
make it in an event.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, thank you, girls. Thank you for all you guys are doing for women in construction. I love that.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank you for
you. We
If you
helping
need
appreciate
out.
anything from me, you let me know. I'm here.
Okay,
Much appreciated.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. I'll
much.
talk to
Dude,
you
that
soon.
was fast. All
Oh my
right,
goodness.
ladies, have a great day.
You
You too.
too. Thank
Bye.
you.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye.